All right, everything's looking good. Let's go back to the charts. Um, so Ethereum been pumping. We called it on the channel. I didn't tell you guys. I was like, it looks really risky to get in. There's a lot of different points that we could possibly get in. Looks a little risky. Oh my gosh, Bitcoin looking hot. I told you guys that Bitcoin and Ethereum are highly correlated, and that if Bitcoin starts pumping, Ethereum was going to start pumping. I guess we're right about a lot of things on this channel. We've been in these markets before. Alright, so it's looking hot. It's looking good. It's looking really good. I want to see a breakout of this channel, and I want to see a potential breakout of this channel, these fib levels. Um, and then obviously it still has these major overhead resistance ahead of it. Let's take a look at the volume. That's what I'm mainly concerned about with Bitcoin, which we've been talking about for a long time. And I told you guys Bitcoin was going to do well. Here, let me go full screen for a second. Bitcoin had that cross on the daily. It had that daily cross. I'm pulling up. Let me see. I have to pull it up on Bybit because Bybit has that. Let's see. I got the resolution up, which is good. Alright. So you can clearly see right here. Let's see if we can not get a reflection. You might have to take my word for it, but we got a daily cross. And I just said this is the potential for Bitcoin to cross. You can see that gray line right there. This is on the daily chart. Um, there we go. So on the daily chart, you have that gray line on the bottom crossing right now that pink line. So this is the 5 MA crossing the 20 MA on the daily. So that's called a golden cross. And we said that this was the only potential for us to get volume. And I put that out a little earlier. Guess what happened? Bitcoin's price pumped, but we need to keep looking at volume because, like I said, that was the only potential to see more volume. So we're still looking. I told you guys, it's like you gotta really. I know what I'm talking about, so you really gotta pay attention to like my exact words. I said that has the potential, but we need to see how the market's gonna react to it with volume. And we did get that pump right where that golden cross hit up, but the market's not reacting to it like as much as I would like it to see. Like right here, we have more volume, but we did get that hit. We did get that price up. Ethereum correlated with it. Ethereum went up. We are heavily involved in Ethereum, and I told you guys, it's gonna be hard to figure out exactly where that pump is with Ethereum because it's kind of over. It's got a high RSI, like it's overbought a little bit. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at that. I told you guys, you don't want to get wrecked in that. That's why we're buying Ethereum and not longing it. You know what I say? Like on this channel, like I literally don't know a better channel on the entire internet for crypto that's going to tell you this stuff. They might be able to tell you the price action. They're not going to tell you what they're actually doing. They're not going to tell you the game plan. And we've literally called everything perfectly. I know people that have 300,000 subs. I know people that have 100,000 subs. They're not on the same level that we're on. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at this pump right here. Um, and right now we're in the golden pocket area right here. Potentially, if we had a strong bounce at this 618 level, this could potentially be a long area. We would want to get with market cipher on that. We would want to see this is a really strong selling pressure, which is fine because we had a really strong pump. I'm just telling you guys, like, it's like this looks like a great opportunity, and then you enter in right here, right here, right here, you would have got wrecked. And we told you, like, exactly on this channel. We said we know Ethereum's gonna pump. Right now, there's not any like guaranteed great spots to get into it at. And let's take a look at it for a second. Zoomed out. Let's go to the 4 hour. And the other thing you gotta think about is Ethereum's classified as an altcoin. So this is, while Ethereum's pumping, altcoin dominance is going to be going up. Or altcoin dominance, BTC, Bitcoin dominance is going to be going down. So even though it's not really one of those small cap coins, the market's still going to treat it good for altcoins. Okay, so we got a 4 hour week. We got a 4 hourly close. We're looking good. We just want to see more volume, and this is the exact tool we want to pull up. So we measure from right here. It's called Fibonacci retracement. We use a bunch of different fib tools, but we're looking at this one specifically, swing high to swing low, and we want to see, you know, how it's going to interact with this Fibonacci. This is the golden pocket right here. This is huge. If we hit these levels, you know, it's not that the pump's over, but potentially we could break this level right here and move higher. That would be bullish. If we bounce off this lower fib, like I was saying earlier, another possibility is we hit this upper band right here as support. That wouldn't be bad at all. That's somebody said earlier that, oh, I got put my screen right here. And let me take this off, put this down here so that you guys can see. Let me bring it back. Alright, so this is Fibonacci, retracement, golden pocket. You want to hit this area potentially as support if this area fails. This is the 618 level. We got the fib pulled up. This is a doji right here. This is a doji. I like this confirmation candlestick. So on the 4 hour pump, we got a confirmation. And you can say that the volume's not there, but the volume really did come in. It's right there, you know. And so we want to see more volume for a continuation. We don't want to see this, but it can literally just be cooling off. That's fine. Potentially we hit this area and bounce off. Potentially we hit this upper band and bounce off. We broke all the way through that. Bottom, whatever you want to call it, that descending triangle. And I told you guys we have to look at this area, and we broke right through this area, continued up, closed up bullish. So it's looking good. Yeah, so we just need to find some support right now, or some volume. Alright, going on to BTCD. Bitcoin dominance. We got a hammer right here. And see, everybody's calling altcoin season, and like I've been saying, I mean, this looks like a little mini downtrend right here. This looks like a mini downtrend right here, but I'm telling you guys, unless, like, when you look at the charts, unless we break the 62.64 area, it's not altcoin season. Like, those small caps are not going to pump, and the potential to go long on a small cap, or the potential to buy a small cap before even the mid caps have been pumping, like, it's just so risky. And so, I mean, I wouldn't touch that. Like, it's just not smart, you know. It's like they're going off of their opinions. They're not looking at the charts. We have to break this area right here to continue that downtrend. We need to set another lower low to continue that downtrend into altcoin season. Is it possible? Absolutely, but we have to wait. We have to break that 62.64 area, or we're not continuing. Right now we're essentially consolidating down, and it looks like we could hit it, but we're not there yet. And if Bitcoin continues to pump, if we continue to see volume coming in on Bitcoin because of those moving averages, those golden cross moving averages, it's like I said before, because like on this channel we don't only know like the TA, not only can we like interpret the TA, but we know like why the TA is set up the way it is. And so we have a golden cross on the daily for Bitcoin. We're looking at the 5 MA crossing the 20 MA, but we know that the 20 MA now has the potential to cross like the 50 MA, the 20 MA has the potential to cross the 30 MA. Like that's just the start. The reason on Bybit they have the 5 MA and the 20 MA set up is because those are the two lowest moving averages, and once those cross, it's going to set off a chain reaction. You got another cross right here on the 4 hour. I think I saw that a little bit ago. Let's take a look at the God, I can see. Yeah, I got the volume, or I got the someone was talking about that, so I got it turned up. Resolution. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Alright, these moving averages are pretty far apart, but I believe these are exponential. Yeah, these are exponential. And then this is the 50 and the 200, and on the daily, those are obviously going to be moving very slow. Where are those at? They're right there. Alright, let's take a look at some more MAs. I'm going to have to go to the library to get these MA right here. Then we'll go down and let's go with triple MA. Triple MA, 20, 50, and 100. Dang. These are still pretty far apart. But yeah, we had a cross right here. You can see on Bybit, we had a cross, golden cross on the MA5, the MA20. And the market seems to be reacting good to it, but it's also a lagging indicator. So we can have the golden cross, and then we can have another initial pump slightly after it. That's kind of what I'm looking at, what I'm eyeing right now. That would be huge. And like I said, like we're really looking for something to pump Bitcoin. We want to see the volume come in. Like I said earlier, that was a driving force, and it looks like we might have already seen that pump. But, you know, don't be surprised because that's on the daily, so that's massive. Alright. Market Cipher A, let's get that back on. Saying a possible trend reversal right here. It's possible. It'll be interesting because I believe a lot of this pump was because of that golden cross. So if potentially we start heading lower from here, we'll test this as support potentially. We'll test this as support potentially. But if we just drop back down and continue to consolidate, that just shows Bitcoin's consolidating. And so we'll just have to wait and see how the markets react. Or if it continues to pump, you know, that could be the volume. And we see that through volume, that the market's responding really positively and bullish to the golden cross that we got on the daily. Alright, Kraken. So right here, essentially what you would want to see next is you would want to see a close on the 6 hour. So go 6 hour. Yeah, you'd want to see a close on the 6 hour. It looks like we got it on that ascending triangle. Should be, yeah, it looks like we got it on that ascending triangle. And we got it, did we set it slightly below that higher high? That doesn't mean too much. But we want to see it above this level right here because everybody's looking at this level. This has 100% valid touch points on this level right here. So we want to see a close on the 6 hour. And then obviously we're looking at this. It looks like it's cooling off and moving higher. And that's very bullish. Let's take a look. Oh no, it's still in the same position it was earlier. It's that doji, it's that indecision, but it does look a little bit higher. Let's see, 13, 15, 13, okay. But yeah, potentially something like this. It looks like it pretty much hit it. This looks really bullish. Again, I want to see that confirmation. I want to see more volume like in the other direction, like essentially volume's trending up. You have this, then you have this, and then you have this. So volume's definitely starting to trend back up. Everything is looking pretty hot on here. And then let's get Market Cipher on. Where's Market Cipher B? I think it's way too early to start looking for MACD to bullet bearish divergences, but we'll definitely probably be going over that later when it comes into play if we continue to consolidate. But this thing has been pent up for so long and it looks so bullish. Like you can see it's going up. Yeah, I mean it's looking really good. I think we hit this fib level, bounced off like what I was saying, and I think that it was just so bullish that it's continuing higher. Like even we got this nice hourly close. So yeah, we want to see another close. It looks like it's going to be a strong next close, whatever the next closes are. It looks like it's going to be strong. Anything above this line right here is going to be good, and the higher we go up is going to negate that doji idea, and potentially hit like a hammer, which would be good. Or that hammer idea, or that just long wicking idea showing buying pressure and showing that we hit this golden pocket right here, bounced off. It's looking good. Volume's looking really good. So we warned you about Ethereum. We told you guys what was good with Ethereum. Again, you're looking at RSI. RSI, I don't know what's going on with this chart. RSI is overbought on the hourly chart. And it looks like it just, like I said, I love this. And I told you guys last night I was looking for a fractal like this. It bounces off the 70 and then moves higher. And that should be a theme potentially as we start moving higher into Ethereum, bouncing off the RSI at like around 70 before moving higher. If it's extremely bullish, it will start to ignore the RSI and pump. But we do want to be concerned about that. So over RSI, it looks like it's trending higher on all the higher time frames. RSI on the 4 hour is 74.57. Let's take a look at this one. It looks like we're just approaching overbought on the 6 hour. So that will be interesting to see how the market reacts with that. And then it looks like we're good on the 12. We're overbought on the 12, but it's so bullish that, you know, as long as it's not 70. And then when it gets really, like what we were saying, when Bitcoin was just absolutely exploding, when it was super bullish, we would say that 90 is the new overbought signal. So if it was an 80, it was good. On the daily, it's looking good. It's a little overbought on the daily, but it's so bullish right now. Again, it can ignore RSI to a degree. If not, at least consolidate, cool off, and then move higher. Basically just bouncing off of like the 70 line, what we saw with on the hourly chart. And then yeah, weekly is really what we've been concerned about, but it's looking a little bit better. And yeah, we broke through this all-time high, and I told you guys, if we break through this all-time high, that's going to be huge. And we continue to pump as we break through it. And then everything what people are going to want to see is they're going to want to see not only a close, they're not only going to want to see a close above this trend line right here, they're also going to want to see a close above this all-time high, this previous all-time high. And then the other thing is, as we get the 6 hour close, as we get the 12 hour close, we're not only closing above the all-time high, we're not only closing above this trend line, we're also printing huge bullish candlesticks. If we continue this momentum, it looks like we will consolidate and continue higher. And then essentially we're closing super bullish against everything, the all-time high, this upper band, and the downtrending consolidation triangle. So that will be massive. So closes are really what we're looking at. We can't really look at moving averages too much. We could get some crosses and some moving averages. Everything looks pretty spread. Like I was looking at spreads earlier, and everything looks pretty spread. Like when you look at the EMA, let's take a look. I think we had that cross on the 4 hour, this on the 6 hour. Got this one too, we don't want to get confused. Yeah, so you got this line right here, you got this one right here, and you got, they look pretty spread out. It doesn't look like I can see any crosses potentially, but that's important. Are you in a position? I'm not in a position right now. My position, like I was saying before, is like buying it. Like I have like 40 or 60% of my portfolio in ETH right now, and like it's just because it's so ridiculously bullish. But like like the RSI right here on the 6 hour is just about to hit 70. So I mean, you really got to have that FOMO come in. You really got to have that volume come in, and there's nothing really to trade. Like you can essentially trade once it breaks out of this fib level, which it did, and then it closed, followed by volume. Like this is just textbook trading this pattern right here. You can trade the descending triangle. We could draw the descending triangle, and then the measured move for that. Let me get the measured move for that. I'm still just chilling. Missed the start of the pump. Yeah. Let's see. So essentially right here potentially, and then right here. So it would look something like this. Measure the move, and then essentially like this would potentially be the breakout right here. We'll do a conservative right here. Potentially you have something like 18 potentially on this descending triangle. 1835, so no rush to get into a position on it. You just want to get like a good strong position. And if you miss the first pump, if you miss the first what is it called, the first pattern, like whether it's a descending triangle or whether it's a breakout of these ascending channels, either way, we could potentially pump up here, find resistance, come back down, pump up again, and then find that same resistance, come back down, and potentially it would be a double bottom formation essentially, and that's a good entry. Or like if we potentially made like a head and shoulders like on the hourly or something like that, and so like inside of this descending triangle pattern, we have about 3,000 potentially to go. Let me measure this ascending triangle, or this ascending wedge, or this ascending channel. It depends on how, it could be an ascending wedge. It just depends on how you look at it. We need the FOMO, yeah. And it's hard to measure the FOMO without like the fear and greed index, but I believe that's only on Bitcoin. But we thought that the dominances were only on Bitcoin, and we can pull up like Cardano. Cardano's been doing way too well. I hold a lot of Cardano, and like I wish I could get more of it, but it's doing way too well. Yeah, this is a 1934 moving average, or measured move. So I mean, no matter how you spin this thing, it's looking hot. Potentially, I don't think this is a bull flag formation, but you could potentially say this is a bull flag. If it was a bull flag, we could get that measured move. Measuring the flagpole. And that puts us at 2,000. But I would rather go with the conservative targets to start out with at 18. It's just this thing's been pressure cooking, and then also you're not fighting the trend. Like I said, we have this high, this higher high, this higher high. You have this low, this higher low. I mean, it just looks good all around. Like the macro charts, like not only the trend, not only the not only the patterns, but also, you know, the community is really bullish behind Ethereum. It's very underrated compared to Bitcoin. Like, all the fundamentals are there, and that's what I was trying to constantly tell you guys is like, we are like in this channel, like we are heavy in Ethereum, and there's a very, very good reason why. Um, and so, like, I'm not stressing out about this move. This move can hit like a 19, 20K. Maybe Bitcoin follows with it. Hopefully that dumps altcoins potentially, because then I can get into like potentially like Cardano, and I can take my Ethereum at like 20 or at like 2000, put it into Cardano. But right now Cardano is just going off, and it's not what I want to see. Because I want to accumulate more Cardano, and I want to put my Ethereum into Cardano. But we were smart on this channel, and even if Cardano goes up with Ethereum, I can just accumulate it side by side. But what we're planning on this channel is we're planning for a massive pump on Bitcoin. I don't think we're going to see it soon, because we got to break all-time highs again. And I just like, the only thing that I can see is that golden cross on the daily, but that's not going to bring us up enough buying pressure, I don't think, to pump us up to the all-time highs anytime soon, especially with everybody thinking we're still in altcoin season, which we might be, but we got to look at those levels, and those levels are saying that altcoin season isn't 100% right now. All right, it's looking, you got a, on the hourly, I mean, this is kind of like what you take with a grain of salt. Really good right here. This is, you know, we can talk about volume all day long, but this is the money momentum oscillator. This is looking gorgeous. This is looking gorgeous on the 1 hour. So this is exactly what you want to see. This is a lot of room. Like, you know, Crypto Face, you know, the guy that created this technical analysis thing, he would probably be longing like 500,000 when he sees something like this. This is all green right here. This is the problem, is we saw a lot of this with Bitcoin, and I was telling you guys, and this is what we didn't want to see, and we were getting like small wicks up, and I'm like, that's what we want to see, but then we would just consolidate. This is exactly what we want to see on the hourly chart. This is very, very, very healthy. So this is not the volume, this is the money momentum oscillator, and it's slightly adjusted. So the money momentum oscillator is a technical indicator. Not a lot of people know about it. It's a little more unorthodox, but it is heavily valuable. And then this is basically, they manipulated some of the variables in it. So this is a custom indicator, and it is phenomenal. All right, and then I just want to see this white right here. I want to see it get fatter. I want to see this white right here get fatter. Let me make sure that my thing isn't in the way. Oh, it could be. Let me move it over here. Alright. So I want to see this fat. I want to see this white fat get a lot fatter. I like all this. I like it. I just want more fat on this, because the more, the whiter it is, and it's kind of hard to see. So let me zoom in a little more. When it clips like this potentially hits like a potential top, and then when it gets this dark blue, that's basically showing that it's a top. So I want to see more fat. I want to see more. I want to see it pump up like white, like in this fatty area. Clipping like this, not looking incredibly hot, but I think it, you know, the second we start pumping just a little bit more, it's gonna turn. Like, potentially, like, if we broke all-time high right here, and we stayed here, and we cooled off for a little bit, and then we broke all-time high. I mean, it's not an official trade setup, but if somebody was gonna go like 10x with an extremely tight stop loss right here, that should be pretty decent, especially if you're taking profits. I'm not recommending that. I'm just saying, like, that's stuff that people do, and like, let's see. But you would want to see a lot of volume. And volume is trending up. Let's see. This could potentially break the downtrend. Remember, this is on the 4 hour, so we still have a lot of time to pump before this uptrend is invalidated. And this has a lot of touch points. Let me see. Let me draw this trend line. This is Ethereum 4 hour Kraken charts. So you got that touch point. That looks pretty good. At least, let me see. You got one, you can count this, 2, 3, 4, 3 or 4 touch points, like guaranteed. Definitely a valid uptrend. Looks good. So we don't want that valid uptrend to be, we don't want to see, we want to see another pump to validate that uptrend. That would be huge. Continue validating it. Let's see, BTC.USD or BTC/USD, Coinbase. I'm gonna go down to the lower time frames, and then we're gonna pull a fib out. Let's go 6 hour, and then let's pull a fib out on 6 hour. Yeah, that's what I want to see. So Fibonacci. And it looks like volumes, like again, like this is on the 6 hours, so it's got time. Alright, so this is probably right here, is probably the start of the pump. It's looking bullish. It hasn't even touched. I mean, it's just consolidating, but it looks bullish, like for consolidation. It hasn't even touched this 786 level, the top of the golden pocket, which is huge, which is absolutely massive. The only thing we're looking for is volume, you know, and then potentially, like if we were in a trade, we would be looking to take profits at these levels right here, potentially, seeing how the market interacts with them. Let's see. So we're going to go down to the lower time frame. Go down to 15-minute just to see what volume's like. Yeah, volume's not too hot right now. Pull up, like, we'll zoom out a little bit. Yeah, it's nearly downtrending on volume. You can see right here. Volume down, 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 down. Starting to potentially wick back up. Potentially see something, but it's not looking good. Just looks like it's consolidating. BTC.D. Let's see how this is doing. Let's see how the markets are reacting. You got a long right there. Oh, this is on the 15. So yeah, we always know to take this with a grain of salt. So we could potentially be seeing this level right here as support. So we could be potentially bouncing fib areas. And let's take a look at that idea, because this is important for Ethereum being an altcoin, to see how Bitcoin dominance is going to interact. So it looks like we're bouncing fib levels, but I just want to confirm that. We gotta go to a higher time frame than the 15. It looks like we're just bouncing between potentially the like the 786 potentially and the 0.318, which is very common, and that's why a big reason why we pull out a lot of, let's see, pull swing low. Let's get that macro fib pulled up. Yeah, perfect. And let's pull this up right here. Yeah, you can see this, like it nearly perfectly wicks these fib levels. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. This is more on the macro time frames. Hit this level as resistance, moves down, hits this level as support. This is the it's the golden pocket on the Fibonacci trend based, but on the retracement, it's the 0.8, 0.3, the 0.382 right here. So we essentially hit it, find resistance, hit it, find resistance, break through it, come down, find support on it for a second, break back down on it. So yeah, it's definitely interacting with these fib levels. And then like it looks like it hit it's looking like it's hitting this as resistance. This what would this be? The 0.236 level. It looks like it's hitting that, finding resistance, and then potentially moving down. So not only do you have this idea, you know, of these two levels, you know, that we're really looking at to validate this macro downtrend right here. You know, you see this massive downtrend, and then basically all we need to confirm this like entirely is a break of this level right here to put in a lower low, which we've been looking at. But not only do we have that, but it looks like we're bouncing off of that fib area and finding it as resistance. So Bitcoin dominance could definitely be moving lower. And like I said, a lot of that's got to do with Ethereum. Ethereum is considered an altcoin. So if Ethereum starts pumping with these altcoins, that could potentially, and it looks like Bitcoin could be potentially consolidating. We'll have to see how it interacts with volume on, we'll have to see how it interacts on that golden pocket area, or on that golden cross area. We'll see what happens, but it looks like if Bitcoin continues to consolidate and ETH continues to pump, that could tank BTCD, Bitcoin dominance, and further altcoin season, and then we'll be looking to finish up mid caps and potentially move into small caps once mids are done. So we just look at mids, see how they're performing, look at smalls, see if they start pumping. Alright, so, and then we're going to go to ADA. You guys know that's like the biggest, like, it's just crazy. And I do want to look at DOT today because DOT was, I'm not against DOT, I'm really not. I just, you know, like I said, like I can't stake it, but at the same time, it's looking like look how gorgeous that is. And I think we talked about this yesterday. It hits this, finds support at that level, moves higher. Hits this, finds support, moves higher. Hits this, like it's just looking really bullish. And this is on the 6 hour. It looks like it's coming down and testing that area. It could move higher. And if Bitcoin, if altcoin season is confirmed, a lot of people are going to be taking their altcoin profits and putting them into things like Cardano, Ethereum, and potentially Bitcoin. But a lot of the smarter guys are going to realize, hey, Bitcoin's not really doing anything right now, but I can double, triple up on my gains if I start putting them into these really bullish coins. Now, we're not buying at these levels, unfortunately. We were trying to buy right here. We talked about buying right here, but it's just been so ridiculously bullish. This was a gorgeous, it had multiple touch points. We were looking to buy a percentage right here, look to break through. Like we buy maybe like 25% of our buying power right here, look for this pattern to potentially break through, come down. And so again, we're really hoping for a pump on Bitcoin to bring that ADA down, because I love ADA. And like you would think that when it's pumping, like that would be good, but you, in my opinion, you can never have enough ADA. So it's just sad that we can't accumulate. Oh my gosh, finally. Frick, I wish it was consolidating a little bit more. I was literally just telling you guys, like, and we've been watching this forever. This was a few days. Like, it seemed like every single time I pulled up the fib, it was in the golden pocket consolidating right here. And you got a potential long position. Yeah, I mean, if you're really into DOT, you know, it did close this. It did close this on the 6 hour. It did close above this 7.786 level, 0.786 level on this upper band of the golden pocket. It's looking good. It's looking hot. Market Cypher is saying it's a potential trade. It's looking hot. You know, it'd be more of a swing trade than anything. With some really sound fundamentals. It looks like we were just cooling off for a little bit. We found some support at this level. I think a lot of people thought we were going to just move a lot higher, and we got a little bit of a fake out. We hit this, it looks like a fib area right here, hit another fib area, hit another fib area inside another fib area, and you just see this a lot. And who was it? Venture Crypto Capital, they were really big on fib levels at one point. You can just see, you know, they really documented like that you just bounce around in these fib levels, but it looks like a potential breakout. And because we were bouncing around in those fib levels, you potentially have a consolidation pattern right here of probably a triangle.
um, which would be, and then you have this long, and then volume's coming in, volume's looking hot. It's calling on the 6 hour a bottom. Let's see what the 12 hours looking like. And we got to go 6 to 12 because that's what people trade off of. 12's looking hot, saying a reversal of the trend. It looks like it was a bearish trend and then it's a bullish trend, and so it's a reversal possibly. I have a hard time, with what Market Cipher is saying when it comes to these. These mean trend reversal, but I don't know if it's like this is a downtrend and then now we're in an uptrend, so this is a trend reversal. I think that's what it means. Three white soldiers essentially, but this is more bullish than that, like we've talked about in the past with like things like Bitcoin. Like, so you would essentially have this, and then you'd essentially have this, and then you'd essentially have this, but you want them all to be the same size, and then you also don't want the wicks, but this is just extremely bullish. This is like more bullish than the white soldiers pattern because the candlesticks are higher. So I really wish, same thing with Cardano. It looks like a dot's about to pop off, and it's literally just the same thing with Cardano. And, I was looking at the statistics last night on Cardano versus DOT, and it looks like DOT's about to pop off. I would be buying DOT more than trading it right now. Let's see, you could potentially have a double bottom right here with the neckline being right here. This isn't a textbook. This is not a textbook double bottom. When you have a textbook double bottom, the price action comes down from right here, then hits its first bottom. Right here, you have the price action coming up. So it's the idea of a double bottom potentially, but it's not the same as a double bottom. There's a little more risk involved with this pattern, but it looks like a W pattern right here. You have this first bottom right here, you have this second bottom right here, you have this neckline. You could potentially say this is a double bottom, but that's too risky in my opinion to trade. And it's like, where's the neckline on this? Like potentially right here, that's just really sloppy. And I would prefer to trade something more macro, like on the 12-hour, this potential W formation. And then also, once we hit this level right here, if we got volume and we break this, like that's just going to be massive continuation to the upside. And it just looks like, it looks like reading the charts, it looks like we potentially found this area of support, and then potentially we hit this area right here, and then essentially like this was a lower high. So this was a high and then this was a lower high, and we just couldn't break above it. Even this was a lower high and we just couldn't break above it. You have essentially like a morning star pattern right here, and then it's just a massive bearish candlestick basically showing that we got rejected. A doji, they didn't want to believe it. Massive dump after a hammer, and then essentially it looks like we're retesting it. And on these higher time frames, it's not on the 12-hour yet, but on the 6-hour, it looks like that we are confirming. So this is looking good. And like I was saying earlier, I was doing research last night, really looking at the fundamentals behind Cardano versus DOT, because these are some of the best cryptocurrencies in the entire space. And what is it? Cardano in the last 3 months, it's like the last 3 months, Cardano's up 360%. Whereas ADA whereas DOT is up like 320%, or I think Cardano's up like 380%. So what I remember like drawing conclusively is that over the midterm, Cardano is up 60% higher than DOT. Now I agree with that. Like I agree with that appraisal, but I don't necessarily think the market does. We're extremely bullish on Cardano, and like it's been performing extremely well, and we're bullish on the long term on Cardano. But I think the market necessarily, and you see this a lot when the first altcoin season started. Cardano, VeChain, and Polkadot were all highly correlated. They would all have about 150% pumps, and then VeChain started to break off a little bit and started to move down lower, and I agreed with that. Like VeChain's good. Like I like VeChain. It's not like a total crap coin, but I don't think it should be competing with something as like absolutely game changing as Cardano, and like game changing, like it's just gonna murk Ethereum long term. Like we strongly believe that. Like it's backwards compatible. It's not gonna deal with those crappy gas fees. It's just got everything. I get the arguments, I get it, but on this channel we are heavy on Ethereum, or heavy on Cardano. Maybe they'll fix the gas fees. Maybe ETH will, run more optimally. Maybe, ETH will use things like JavaScript, but that's all speculation. That's not there yet. So I love Cardano, and I was looking at, I stake Cardano on Ada Lite IO, and it says that it's a ROA, so return on asset, and I like that a lot. Instead of return on investment, return on asset, instead of ROI, it's ROA. I just like that they put it like that because most people say ROI. Return on asset of 5% every 30 days. And then so I thought to myself, okay, well, if it's an ROA of 30 or a little over 5% over the 30 days, what's the ROI in the year? And it's 55%. So if you get into Cardano early, and you get those staking rewards, you're going to have literally 55% more DOT than your overarching competitor. Again, I am so bummed that we can't stake it. And then DOT is the same way. DOT is so ridiculously bullish on staking. Like, you can earn so many staking rewards on DOT. I forget when they pay them out. It's like every 3 days. It's absurd. The staking rewards on DOT are paid out like every 3 days. It's like a finite supply. Like, it is a very small amount. I think it's like you have to wait like a month or 2 weeks, and then they start paying you out every 3 days. But that is absolutely massive. And I don't remember, but so like the reason that I'm not like buying a lot of Polkadot, I was potentially thinking about getting it as an investment without staking it, because the validator nodes aren't allowing me to stake it. I've tried multiple times, but maybe I can try again. It's not that I'm doing anything wrong. The validator nodes just aren't validating my stake. So, but you just have to think about it like that. Like, if you get into these projects early, you're gonna get massive staking awards. You're gonna accumulate a lot of coin, and potentially this is looking pretty decent. It doesn't look to me like this is gonna be another fake out. But so buying essentially more so than if you're into DOT. On this one, we're into Cardano a lot more, just because it's so much easier to stake, and I think everybody's going to agree with me on that. Once they start like really looking into it, like, it's just so effortless. Although there's pros and cons to it. DOT has some nice staking setups. You can choose like multiple different validator nodes, which is nice, and the tipping incentive is nice. Like, so there's pros and cons to it. But I'm just saying, and then VeChain actually ended up pumping. And I was thinking, yeah, VeChain's a little undervalued, but I still don't think it has the potential to run with the big boys, but it's not about my opinion. The market said in the beginning that that was the case. We could potentially be hitting this as resistance. I don't think that's the case, though, because we already wicked above it, so we should already be broken above it. We would have to potentially wick here, then come down on the lower time frames, like the hourly, hit it, and then wick below it. I don't think that's the case, though. So that's on Bitcoin. And we basically covered everything. We can go over Link. I was talking to you guys about Link. I like Link. I just like Ethereum more as a buy right now, just because we already bought Ethereum at some really good prices. So right now it's just Ethereum's really just a hold for us right now on this channel. Like I said, like I was saying that this would potentially happen, that this would potentially be the bottom, and that this uptrend would be valid. And essentially we just want to break this line right here that I drew. I said this is the line we're looking at. If we can break this line, it looks good. And then we were going to potentially test this area right here as resistance, see how it interacts. It could break back into the pattern. I'm not saying that there's not more upside to Link. I'm just telling you that, I mean, the upside to Ethereum, and then like just the fundamentals on Link, like holding it long term. Because like on this channel, what we say is like, you can pump small coins, you can pump mid coins, and you can pump based off of entirely just the chart and what is it called, pumpamentals of the fundamentals of the tokens or protocols or whatever you're getting yourself into. But you know, you don't want to be left holding a bag. It's like one of the biggest lessons that you can learn. You never want to be stuck holding a bag that nobody wants. So you don't want to get pump and dumped on. Like, you know, it seems like that's the case with XRP. Like I said, I think we conclusively said that pump with XRP is not going to go back to where it was. It could get a dead cat bounce, where essentially it hits the bottom, spikes up a little bit of like hope, and then just continues down lower, or it consolidates. It's probably right. It's probably appraised right about where it is right now at 36 cents. Maybe it drops back down a little bit and consolidates, but that's about where it's supposed to be at. And we were looking at institutions, and we said that institutions were going to come in and short it. They didn't hit they were planning, like what they had was smart, where they essentially try and pump the price right as the institutions are closing down, so they're just trading against bots. But we saw that failed, and the volume didn't come in when that plan was supposed to happen. So like I said, like I like Link. I just don't want to be stuck holding a bag that's potentially consolidating. Like I said, I like Link. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of bullish potential, but there's also some competition in Link, and just like a lot of people are trying to take at Link's market cap. And while Link's gonna have, and I said this before, and I'll say it again, like Link's going to continue. There's no like real competitor to Link right now. Kind of like Dot, but like Dot doesn't have any like real competitors. Like API 3, like that one that's being built in correlation with what is it, Polkadot's ecosystem. Like those guys, they have potential. They have a lot of potential. And you know, Link's old technology, I hate to say it, but Link's been around for a long time. The potential for one of these newer companies to come in, build a decentralized Oracle, it's massive. Like there's a lot of potential for that, and to eat away at Link's market share. Again, do I hold Link? Absolutely. I got in like really cheap, and I don't mind holding it as a diversification. And like as far as decentralized oracles, I'm gonna go with the big boy. I'm gonna go with Link. Right now, there's not a competitor to Link essentially that's reasonable. But again, like I'm not gonna go heavy on Link. Like I already have my bag. I'm fine with the bag I have right now. There's just too much competition. Like it's not like a, you know, just like a no-brainer like Dot is. Like people are very bullish on Dot because like yeah, there's Atom, but that's like nothing compared to like the team behind Dot is just so incredible. So yeah, that's my thing with Link is that, you know, it could bounce back in here. I'm just not seeing a higher ROI through the midterm with Link than I am with Ethereum. And so yeah, hopefully like our master plan on this channel. So we hold like a little bit of Bitcoin, we hold a little bit of we hold some Cardano, and we hold ETH as our biggest position. And then we have like you know, like so our mid cap bags, like we held synthetics, like our synthetics bags are up. I told you guys not to buy synthetics potentially. Like it's a good project, but like make sure you get it, like it's a good project, but like everything we talk about on this channel is going to be a good project. I'm never going to show you like some like scammy thing, or you know, some YouTubers are paid to talk about projects. We're never going to do that on this channel. So like synthetics, like it was a good project, but like, you know, you got to get a good asset at a good appraised value. So like when I got into synthetics, that was like 300% ago. Like I think we made like 350% on synthetics and like 300 something percent on Aave. And then let's take a look at Maker. Maker USD. Is it gonna, is this Maker's? Maker. Let me just go on CoinGecko and confirm that this is the right one. Oh crap. We're gonna lag if that's the case. Alright. I'm pretty sure this is the right. I'm almost positive that this is the right ticker symbol for it. I know stocks aren't gonna act like this, so. Alright. Maker's looking good. I would potentially pull up a fib on Maker. You could potentially have a cup and handles formation. So potentially like this is the cup right here. We pump, maybe have a little bit of like a retracement, and then potentially I'm seeing like a cup and handles formation potentially. This looks to me like an inverse. Is this it? No, this isn't an inverse head and shoulders. Potentially, let's see, what would you call this? Support flipped resistance is probably exactly what this would be. So let me break it down. Right? 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 So you potentially have this resistance, 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 and now this is flipped support moving up. Potentially. I don't really see any other patterns that this could be. It's possibly a resistance, but I mean, yeah, more so than anything, this could potentially be a cup and handles formation. This is just weird. This is just throwing me off. And I would say inverse head and shoulders, but it's weird how it inverses. That doesn't look like a textbook inverse head and shoulders. Let's take a look again. Yeah, it's like this is the head, but then where are the shoulders? Potentially right here, potentially like right here. It's not very clean. Yeah, it's not very clean. And then essentially what I would do is I would just measure this fib potentially to probably right, I'd probably start the pump. I probably measure this as the fib. Here, I'll just do it for you guys. So I'd measure like a macro fib, like right here. This is a Fibonacci retracement, right? Yeah, Fibonacci retracement. Let's take a look. I want to get this perfectly, even though it's a more macro pattern. So you get right here, and to right here, like the start of the pump, swing low right here. That's, you know, it's a tough one. This is definitely a swing low though. So we'll do swing low to swing high. Some textbook. Then essentially it looks like we broke above this potential resistance right here on the more macro Fibonacci area. Looks like we found like some consolidation. Looks like it broke out of it. Looks like we touched this area right here, closed perfectly with the candlestick. We just wicked above this. You guys know that once we hit this area right here at the 618 level, this could be a potential reversal. And then it just wicked it, bounced back up into this channel, started to trade above, you know, or started to trade in the golden pocket, had essentially an extremely bullish 3 white soldiers, and essentially we just closed above it. So it's looking good. Maker's looking good. Alright, let's take, I don't even know, everything we've been going over more the macro patterns. I think we're all good for right now. I'll check in with you guys later. But yeah, it seems Bitcoin's more so consolidating. We'll see if, you know, it could react bullishly to that golden cross. You know, it's more of a lagging indicator than anything. Ethereum's looking really good. If Ethereum consolidates, that just adds to the argument. I don't think it's going to drop. So if it consolidates, that just adds to the argument that, you know, with the RSI dropping, and then essentially what else we have? We have, you know, Link looks pretty hot, looks pretty decent, looks like it could go back and do its thing, but, you know, like, it's just with the fundamentals, like, I'd rather just be in Ethereum. ADA, it's doing too good. I'm sad to say, like, we told you guys about Cardano like a while back, and I've been in Cardano for a long time, and I think it's the best crypto by far. and it's just doing too good. It's doing too good, and it's sad to see that it's doing so good because even though I'm making a lot of money off of it, like I always say, it's so sad because like I do not care. Like we know on this channel, we know Ethereum or Cardano is the best. Like regardless of what the market thinks, it is the best crypto. So I was hoping for a flat line, some consolidation, and an accumulation. And I'm thinking that we're gonna get that opportunity once Bitcoin pumps. So we're gonna catch the bottom on Cardano potentially. If it pumps, if ADA ends up pumping with Bitcoin, I'm just gonna be so sad. And then we're potentially looking at flipping our Ethereum once it starts really pumping. Around we'll probably cost base average in. So maybe when it hits 2,000 on Ethereum, like in a quick rally, we'll start cost base averaging that and potentially putting that into Cardano to diversify because we have a lot of Ethereum right now, which seems to be the move, which we were talking about. And then potentially we have a parabolic run up, and then as we have the parabolic run up on Ethereum, um, we're going to take a little bit out, put it in Cardano. Take a little bit out, put it in Cardano. Maybe at like 2,000, 2,500, 2,800, and then potentially like 3,000. And then because I want to have like maybe 20% of my portfolio in ETH, and then potentially a lot more in Cardano. Like you can literally just hold Cardano for the next like 5 years and you will be golden. That'll probably be one of the best performing cryptocurrencies. The reason that we're on here, the reason we trade, the reason because we want to get the highest ROIs with the least amount of risk. Like you can literally just hold Cardano for the next 5 years and you will be set. But we want to see the highest ROIs with the least amount of risk. So, we're going to see a higher ROI putting our money into like Ethereum, having that parabolic run up, and then putting it back into, because that would potentially, if Bitcoin runs with Ethereum, that would dump at the ADA's price, and then we can basically time both the top of Ethereum and the bottom of ADA. So, and then Bitcoin dominance, you guys know what levels we're looking at. Believe it's the 62.68 percentage level. That wick. We're looking at that. We're looking at everything, but there's not a lot to talk about right now. I'm gonna check in with you guys later. See what the charts are looking like, but we're looking good right now. Everything on our portfolio that we've been talking about, we're absolutely murking. We're absolutely killing. And again, once we potentially hit that break on altcoin season, because I've been saying as Ethereum starts pumping, it looks like it could continue to pump. If that continues, then Bitcoin dominance is going to drop. Altcoin season is probably going to continue. I'm going to be looking at mid caps with you. I'm going to be looking at potential small caps with you, and I'm going to outsource you to Elliott Trades, and I'm going to say, listen, it looks like altcoin season's continuing. It looks really good for altcoin season as long as Bitcoin doesn't screw it up with a massive pump. And so I'm going to get you guys to Elliott Trades, like outsource you guys, because I think he's one of the best people in the entire space for altcoins. But right now, on this channel, I get what everybody else is saying, but we're looking at the charts. On this channel, we're looking at the charts, and it's not altcoin season, like continuation entirely yet. So we're waiting, we're looking. We're watching the charts, and then we'll start talking about potentially lower caps, mid caps when we get there, and it looks like we could be potentially getting there. All right, sub to the channel. If you're not sub to the channel, I'm gonna be streaming probably 2 or 3 more times today, keeping you guys updated on the markets. If you like that, sub.